Hi, welcome to Eric's Movie Corner. I'm Eric, and I'm here to talk about movies. Let's do it. Today, we're going to be talking about the new movie written and directed by David Lowery, currently in select theaters, called The Green Knight. This movie stars Dev Patel, Alicia Vikander, and Joel Edgerton. You may know some of these people from other movies. Alicia Vikander played the robot Ava in the movie Ex Machina. She was also Lara Croft in the latest reboot of Tomb Raider. Joel Edgerton was in the movie called The Gift, and he was also in It Comes at Night. So The Green Knight, and I cannot stress this firmly enough, this is what I really want to let you know before you go see this movie. This movie with the title of The Green Knight, you might be expecting some sword fighting, some action scenes, and no. That's not what this movie is. This is an art house film. It is over 2 hours long, and it is very slow paced. So, I just want you to know that before you go see it. I'm not trying to discourage you from go seeing it. However, I did not know that before I went and saw this, and I was getting really impatient with this movie because I was expecting something completely different. And that's really on me. I've always said that expectations of any sort will usually ruin a movie for you, which is why I try not to watch trailers. I usually try and go in as blind as possible. In this particular case, it bit me in the ass because I did not realize I was going to see an art house film, and I was expecting some adventure and some action, and you're not going to get that. So, that's out there. That being said, this movie is extraordinarily well made. David Lowery did a phenomenal job directing everybody. The movie looks fantastic. The cinematography is great. Also, the score of this movie is phenomenal. It was catching my attention all over the place while I was watching this movie. So it is a very well-made film. All the acting is fantastic. So yes, this is a very well-made movie. Basically, without giving too much away, the premise of the movie is that the Green Knight shows up at the round table with King Arthur. They never name him King Arthur in the movie, but that's who he is. It's King Arthur. Basically issues a challenge and says that anybody takes up this challenge must come to his chapel in a year to face up to the results of that challenge. And I'm just going to leave it vague like that for now. And then most of the movie is Sir Gawain trying to follow through on that and get to his destination to meet up with Green Knight to end the challenge. So, that being said, I am going to throw up the spoiler flag right here pretty early because it's hard to talk about this movie without giving away some of the plot, even though it moves quite slowly. So, here's the spoiler flag right here. If you don't want to know anything else about this movie, here's your time to bail. I would say it's a very good movie. I would recommend it if you're in art house films. If you're looking for an action film, go somewhere else. But this is an excellent art house film. All right, that's out of the way. So let's get into it. Basically, this movie starts with the Green Knight showing up and saying, anybody who takes up this challenge can come land a blow on me, and a year from now, come to my chapel, and I will return the blow in kind, and we shall part ways as friends. So, and King Arthur at one point even tells Sir Gawain before he's going to take up this challenge to remember that it's just a game. So my number one bugaboo about this movie is that clearly he didn't understand the rules of this game. Because what he does is he marches forward and he chops the Green Knight's head off. The Green Knight proceeds to pick up its own head and walk out. And I guess he was figuring if he killed him, then he wouldn't be able to follow up on the challenge. But that's not what happened. But like, I don't know, man. With the way the challenge was phrased, I'm like, why not just like walk up to him and be like, boop, and poke him in the shoulder with your sword gently. And that way, a year from then, you go see him, and he goes, boop, and pokes you in the shoulder gently with his sword, and you're friends, and life goes on. That seems to me like it would have been a much better choice, but what do I know? I'm not a knight. So, basically, the rest of the movie is him trying to go on his journey to find the Green Knight's chapel and follow up on the rest of the challenge. So basically, he's going to his death because he chopped the Green Knight's head off, and so the Green Knight is going to chop his head off when he gets there. But it's the honorable thing to do. And knights are all about honor. And as I understand it, this movie is actually an adaptation of a very old poem that English majors read in college. I have not read it. But basically, the Green Knight was sent by Morgana to constantly test the Knights of the Round Table and their honor because she had doubts about how honorable they really were. So, yeah. So most of this movie is Sir Gawain's journey as he marches north to try and find the Green Chapel. There's a couple things in this movie that are a little weird. One thing that's a little weird is that, as I understand it, there's a part in the movie where he runs into a spirit of a woman who was beheaded, and she wants him to go into this spring and retrieve her head. And apparently this is not part of the original poem, so I don't understand why it's in here. Because this movie, quite frankly, is too long to begin with, and they didn't need to be throwing extra stuff in here. They shouldn't have done that, in my opinion. They should have just stuck to the original story. Apparently, that also changed the story a little bit. I don't quite understand all the details of how they changed it, but that's what I've been told. It gets a little confusing towards the end of the movie. Well, along the way, he picks up a little friend. He picks up a fox that comes to a cave while he's starting to start a fire and decides to be his buddy and starts tagging along with him on his journey. And, you know, this fox is clearly supposed to be an important symbol of some sort. And it's got some significant meaning in the movie. As soon as it shows up, my dumb brain starts doing this.
What does the fox say? What the fox say?
Yeah, so that's what it's like to live in my head. My God, there's something wrong with me. So I'm trying to get that song out of my head as I'm watching the rest of the movie, which is very somber. And he keeps on going, and eventually is given a green belt. I guess it's in the original text called a girdle. And this will protect him from death as long as he has it on. So he goes and he finally ends up at the Green Knight. And the Green Knight goes to land the axe blow, and he can't do it. He chickens out and he runs away. And what's very confusing about this movie, I understood it, but a lot of people got very confused by the fact that it then shows him go back all the way to Camelot, sees him become king, sees him go to war, and his people suffering and hating him because of the war, and it's just not a good time. And eventually, the people break down the door to the castle and comes in, and they're there to kill him. And that's when we realize that none of that actually happened. He's still in the Green Chapel with the Green Knight. And at that point, the knight's getting ready to swing the axe, and he says, wait. And he takes off the belt and says, okay, now I'm ready. And he's no longer protected by the belt. He can now actually die. And the Green Knight, at the very end of the movie, says, good choice. Now off with your head. So, not really a happy ending per se, although he maintained his honor, so I guess it's good in that way, but whatever. Anywho, so this movie is great from a filmmaking perspective. Every single actor is great. The movie looks phenomenal, and as I mentioned, the score is really something else. I liked it a lot. So I would recommend this as long as you realize what kind of movie it is and you're into that kind of movie. This is one to check out for sure. And even if you haven't seen it and you've come this far and heard the spoilers, it's still not going to ruin anything for you because it's really more of the experience than the story. So I would recommend going to see this in the theater while you can. So that's my review of The Green Knight. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below. And if you'd like to hear more of my reviews, hit the subscribe button, and the notify button will tell you when they're posted so you can get them right away. Thanks for stopping by Eric's Movie Corner. Come back next time.